Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Fans International Association is back. That's right, the premier fan club association of the 1970s and 1980s has been revived and is back in business. Join today. It's free at thewfia.org. That's thewfia.org. You can also join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/WFIA 1969. Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I am your host, Brad Drake, and this is the WWF all month long. That's right, for the month of June, we will have all World Wrestling Federation action. And tonight, everybody, the WWF is in the Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. All right, broadcasters, obviously there's going to be none. This is a house show. Let's take a look at our absent workers. Nothing but who we expect to be out. And backstage incidents, we have some protege work going on with Strongbow and Mancini. Also with Savage and Lombardi. And also Savage and Dusty Wolf. All right. Let's take a look at our card. As I've said before, we expanded out now to 10 matches. And this one, all the matches are legit, except for those with an asterisk. These are the added matches that we put in. We're also doing a little bit of experimentation with the time here. We're going to see if this gets us under the 2 hours. If it does, we're good to go. If not, we'll make the adjustments. So we'll go ahead and read our card for this evening. Steve Lombardi, the future Brooklyn Brawler, is going to face Tama in singles action. Remember, Tom Zank has flaked out here, and he's gone from the WWF. So Rick Martel is a man in a feud without a partner. That'll soon be rectified when he joins forces with Tito Santana, but that hasn't happened yet. So Tama and Haku are split into singles action here. Brady Boone is going to face Kamala. The Shadows will battle the Young Stallions in a tag team bout. Jerry Allen will face Greg the Hammer Valentine in a singles match. Danny Davis will face Koko. Beware the Birdman. Danny Davis and the Birdman will continue their feud. The one-man gang is going to wrestle Pedro Morales. Haku will face Rick Martel in singles action. Brutus Beefcake and Dino Bravo will face each other again for the third day in a row here in Providence, Rhode Island. We're going to have a chain match. That's right, everybody. It's not a chain match. It's a chain match as Ken Patera battles the mighty Hercules. And then our main event, everybody, the World Tag Team title is on the line as the British Bulldogs battle the champions, who are Bret Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, managed, of course, by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. They are the Hart Foundation. All right, everybody, let's get to booking. And here we go in the opener. Lombardi versus Tama. And here is Steve Lombardi. And here is our man, Tama. Tama's a bad dude. He's just got a mean look to him. Good wrestler. He was really good in the ring. Of course, Tama is going to get the victory here, everybody, over Steve Lombardi. Up next, we have Brady Boone and Kamala. And Kamala has Brady Boone outweighed by about probably 280 pounds. No doubt about it. And looking at it without the matches that we added with asterisks, it's a pretty weak card for Providence, Rhode Island. But maybe the well, again, they were running 3 shows a night, so this was probably the C card for that night. All right, Kamala is going to get the win over the much smaller Brady Boone. And next, we have the Shadows and the Young Stallions. Once again, these two teams have wrestled each other many times. Another 8-minute bout here, and we can plug them in accordingly. The Shadows and the Young Stallions. For those of you that may be new to the channel and watching the series, we are, as I've said before, but of course, if you're new watching that you haven't heard before, we are following the actual cards. We're picking one of the 3 cards that the WWF is running per night, and we're actually running that card. Now, we've expanded from 8 matches to 10, and we are adding in additional matches to make sure that our wrestlers are getting exposure. But we're running it as realistically as possible. Here's Jerry Allen, and here is Greg Valentine. And of our first 4 matches, we have 3 of the 4 with heels getting the victory. There we go, the Hammer with the win here. And up next, we have Danny Davis and Koko Ware. They are going to continue their feud. And of course, we are going to have Danny Davis get the victory here. And here is Koko. And the Birdman gets the win here, everybody. One-man gang versus Pedro Morales. They're going to go 12. Now, Pedro Morales is on the way down. One-man gang is on the way up and needs exposure. So one-man gang is going to get the win over Pedro Morales. But Pedro Morales is super over here in the Northeast. So one-man gang is going to get some help from his manager, Slick. And he's going to win by manager interference over the legend himself, Pedro Morales. Up next, we have Haku and Rick Martel. And they are going to go 14 minutes. And here is Haku. Here is Rick Martel. Rick Martel is going to get the victory here, everybody. Up next here, we have Beefcake and Dino Bravo doing it again. 3rd day in a row, these two. They're going to go 16. They are. So we have the Beefer versus Bravo. And I think Bravo is due for the victory here. But we'll double check here. Yep, Dino Bravo is due. And we're going to do this one right to keep the feud going between Beefcake and Johnny V. And instead of using manager interference, we're going to use outside interference. For some reason, if you use manager, it doesn't register. There's Johnny V. And this one is also booked, everybody. And next, we have our chain match. And it is Ken Patera versus Hercules. This one, of course, is going to be an 18-minute bout. Here is Ken Patera. Here is Hercules. Now, we can go a couple different ways with this one. The way we're going to go, though, is we're going to have Hercules get the win because he's due. Of course, we're going to have Bobby Heenan help him. And it's also because in our big main event tag team bout, we're going to send the fans home happy here. Here are the British Bulldogs. Here are the Hart Foundation. These two teams just tear the house down when they wrestle. The World Tag Team title is on the line. And we're going to have Davey Boy Smith get the win. But of course, it's going to come by countout. So no title will change hands. But the fans will be happy with the babyface victory. Okay, so we're learning something here, and that is that we can jump up one of these early matches to 10 minutes. So we'll do that. For the most part, the longer the match, the better the score. So that's exactly how we're going to do it, everybody. All right, let's run it. Let's see how we do here. All right, here we go. Tama gets the win over Steve Lombardi with that splash, 54 overall. Hey, at least there's no red text to doom. Looks like we've got a sellout crowd here in the Providence Civic Center. Good stuff. Brady Boone loses to Kamala here. Kamala gets the win with the giant splash. 16-42 gets us a 57 overall. And we got some nice green here. So 2 splashes in a row. And the young Stallions get the win with the high double drop kick. Good stuff. 59 overall for these two. And Aroma and Powers are just making their way here, everybody. All right, up next, Jerry Allen and Greg Valentine. Greg Valentine gets the win with that figure 4 leg lock, 69 overall. Good stuff. Up next here, we have Dangerous Danny Davis and Koko Beware. And Koko Beware gets the win with the Birdbusters, 74. And their feud continues. Up next, we have the One-Man Gang and Pedro Morales. Get a 71 for these two. Mostly due to Morales' popularity, of course. 81 and a 55. And this is good stuff and helps the One-Man Gang climb the ladder to success here. Haku and Rick Martel get a nice 85 score here. Lots of green. Green equals money. I'd like to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, everybody. Obviously, I was a fan of wrestling in the 80s. It's what I grew up on. And I remember the Islanders, Tama and Haku, and then I remember when they split, and then Haku was in singles action, and Haku did the thing with the Colossal Connection, and then I didn't watch wrestling for a while, and then I got back into it in the mid-90s. Haku was in WCW, and then he was tagging with the Barbarian as Meng, as part of the Faces of Fear, and Haku was just a mid-card guy. I mean, he was a good wrestler. I liked his ring work. He was a scary guy. He was a good, solid heel. I don't remember him reaching this level of popularity he has now until probably 2012, 2013, when there started being a lot of shoot interviews talking about how dangerous Haku was and how tough Haku was. And I have to laugh because now, well, I know these different wrestling groups on Facebook and I have a blast with them and they're fun. But some people write some really stupid stuff in there. And they crack me up every time. It's like, Haku should have been world champion. Haku should have been the champion. It was because of Hogan that Haku wasn't the champion. And you read stupid stuff like that all the time. Haku had little to no charisma. And he couldn't talk on the microphone. I think he struggled with English back then. So no, Haku was not going to be the world heavyweight champion in 1988 or 1998 for that matter. I mean, really, he made it pretty big with Andre as one half of the world tag team champions. That's because Andre needed somebody that could go in the ring and Haku could, and they had Bobby Heenan talk for them. And he was also a really good tag team with Tama as the Islanders. But no, at no time should Haku have been the face of any company or been the heavyweight champion of the world. He just lacked charisma. All right, I got that off my chest, everybody. It's time to move on here. Here we go. Brutus, Beefcake, and Dino Bravo for the third day in a row. And yes, we get the storyline advancing here and gaining some heat. And Bravo gets the win with that side suplex with help from his manager. Kenny Patera and Hercules get a 77 together. A little bit less than I thought we'd get, but then again, we are on the East Coast here, and it is a babyface Ken Patera. And of course, Bobby Heenan cheated to help Hercules get the win. Here we come from our big main event, everybody, and we get a 99, and a 99 is deserved because these two teams could go like no other. In fact, I challenge anybody to watch a match between the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation between 1985 and I'd even say 1988, even though the Harts had turned face. So 85 to 87. And try to tell me these matches weren't 99 matches, upper 90s, mid 90s matches. They were that good. They were some of the best tag team matches that the WWF ever had in its history. And actually, wrestlers could probably learn a lot nowadays watching tag team matches like those because the Harts were such a tremendous heel tag team, constantly cutting off the ring, breaking up the tags, stuff like that, the double teaming behind the wrestlers' backs. It was great. And how couldn't you cheer the British Bulldogs? They were two smaller guys that looked like $1,000,000 that were fast as lightning and were exciting to watch. It was just really good tag team wrestling. So I know people are sitting there watching this going, he's cheating! He's cheating! The wrestlers are all edited! He's cheating! Well, these teams had 99 matches, and that's just the way it is. So here we go. The British Bulldogs get the victory here, everybody. Lots of green. Green equals money. And look at all this bonus city. Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and finish this one up. We end up with a 96 somehow. We don't get a popularity change, but we've also had a million shows already in this part of the country, so that's probably why. We're going to point out some people here, and I would like to point out Rick Martel. I thought he did a really good job, and I'd also like to point out the Harts, because I thought the Hart Foundation did a really good job. Very easily could have put the British Bulldogs in there, but we give them a lot of credit all the time. So here is Jim Neidhart. All right. We can go good performance, great performance, great performance. We're going to make that speech. Rick Martel is pleased, Bret Hart is pleased, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart is pleased. And Rick Martel certainly didn't care when Tom Zink quit, because apparently those two did not get along. And Tom Zink was accusing Rick Martel of all sorts of stuff. I did read a wrestler's book recently, though, where he thinks it was legit. And I can't remember which wrestler's book it was, but he really thinks that Rick Martel did make an arrangement where he was making more money than Tom Zink. I just can't remember whose book it was. I'll think of it. All right, let's check our incoming Terry Garvin. I agree, Terry Garvin. He is going to be a superstar, and you're not going to be employed for the WWF for too much longer. All right. Brady Boone, grueling schedule, lack of big names, BS. Had huge names on that show. Let's take a quick look around the game world here, see if anything catches our eye. NWA, Flair over Luger. Yeah, that's a damn good match in the Barton Coliseum. Good stuff. World Class ran. Kevin Von Erich and the Real Thing, Rip Morgan. Is the name Rip supposed to be a real first name, or is that supposed to be a nickname? I've always been curious about that. Windy City ran a show. The ladies in the main event again. Zebra Kid over Hurricane Smith. No way. No way, you say. Texas Hangman coming together here against the Terminators. Montagas and the Dazzler. Good stuff. Texas Hangman, of course, would not. We got that fixed in 10.1. On Real Life, they wouldn't form for a couple more years. Maybe one more year. Maybe it was about 88. I just don't recall at this time. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us for this one. For those of you that are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop us a message below. Let us know you found the channel, what you think of us so far. Make sure to check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/PowerCastNetwork. Over at Patreon, it's only $5. You will get access to version 10.1 of the Supermod, all of our spreadsheets, all of our shows early on YouTube ad-free, not to mention so much more, everybody. Give it a shot today, patreon.com/PowerCastNetwork. And don't forget, everybody, to catch us on social media, facebook.com/groups/1987 Supermod. You can also find us over on Reddit under the subreddit of TEW 2020 Friends. And last but not least, we are also on Discord, 1987 Supermod. Check out Wrestling Fans International Association today, the WFIA.org. We'll see you next time, everybody.